Welcome back. As unexplained drones leave millions on edge across the country, one former defense official recently issued this warning about the government's secrecy around UFOs.
Excessive secrecy has led to grave misdeeds against loyal civil servants, military personnel, and the public, all to hide the fact that we are not alone in the cosmos. If we approach the UAP topic in the same way as we as Americans have met other challenges, we can restore our faith in our government institutions. I believe that we as Americans can handle the truth, and I also believe the world deserves the truth.
Yeah, Fox News contributor and former special operations intel analyst and drone expert Brett Velicovich joins us now. Brett, thank you for your service. Thanks for joining us. We listen to that, and he's talking about extraterrestrial, but we really don't have to go outside of our stratosphere to see our government being very secretive and not very trustworthy. I'm looking at the timeline here on these drones, and you have Mayorkas at DHS briefing and saying no big deal. You have Admiral Kirby saying it. These are people who lied to our faces about the border and about the Chinese spy balloon. If that's the credibility and you're saying there's nothing to worry about here, that makes me think there's something to worry about here.
Yeah, that's the issue, is they've destroyed the credibility with the American people. And look, I want to believe there's some other form of life out there just like the rest of us. And I do have a real curiosity about what's up on our stars, but I'm also pragmatic about it and realistic. And to say there's some alleged secret government group that for decades has been covering up evidence of aliens and hiding UFOs in their possession seems a little far-fetched to me. Frankly, I don't think the current government is smart enough to do that. But, and then these sources are always some whistleblowers allegedly too afraid to come forward. What would be the incentive of that? And also, why does no one ever seem to be able to show me clear photos of these UFOs? And that was one of the issues with these recent drone sightings is the more people across the country who sent me photos of these drones, the more I started to understand many things in the sky are being misidentified. People are finally starting to look up. They're wondering what's up there now. And they're seeing a lot of things that they don't recognize. And it's not their fault. The problem is our government hasn't done a good job protecting us from modern day threats by explaining what is regularly above us and what threats we're going to face at home sooner than later. And Joey, the rapid innovation right now of lethal drone technology over the years due to ongoing wars overseas has forever changed the ways wars are going to be fought. In Ukraine, for instance, an estimated 70 to 80% of the daily attacks that take place on the front lines are conducted with drones. You've got even North Korean soldiers who have entered the fight recently being taken out left and right by these kamikaze handheld drones. And frankly, we're not ready for this. Our military is not prepared for that style of fight. We put too much money in the wrong thing. And there's just a lot of arrogance on our current government administration that thinks they've got it all figured out. But we're never going to fight another war without drones. And our adversaries, they surely get it. I mean, there was a Chinese defense contractor who just signed an agreement for over 1 million handheld kamikaze drones to be produced for the Chinese government before 2026. That scale of production doesn't exist in the U.S. They get it, but our government's not prioritizing it.
Yeah, I've done a lot of coverage here, different shows on Fox about drones because I have friends in that industry coming from the EOD world, and it is the absolute arms race of the future. You talk about us spending money. We spend all this money on the F-35, and you can do that with a Walmart drone now. You can implement something that easy. But when we take a step back and look at what's happening, we're kind of honed in on New Jersey, but the lead up to this, I think, created a lot of the hysteria. You had, I think the first thing reported on were drones going near military bases overseas. Then you have a Chinese citizen being caught trying to get back to China after flying a drone near a military base. Then you start to have this happening in the Northeast. And I guess my question to you is, my kind of take on this is a lot of it is coming from people actually finally looking up and paying attention. But is there, within all of this, a layer of there is something specific going on that we need answers on?
We definitely need answers. And look, the recent drone sightings just frankly showed how vulnerable we are as a nation and that we are no longer in control of our airspace. And the government's lack of adequate response just made matters worse. But I understand why they were like that, frankly. It's because they were caught off guard that how little they even knew themselves, because we don't have the systems in place at the federal and state levels to monitor, identify, disrupt these rogue drone threats. And my concern is our government's just going to wait until somebody dies to do anything. And that's not acceptable. That's because the U.S. doesn't have a clear government-wide policy on how to deal with unauthorized drone incursions. It's a national security threat. All the agencies like to say it's someone else's issue, but we know where the bottleneck is as the drone community. It's the FBI's drone department. It's the FAA's UAS office. These are the two most important offices for domestic drone defense, yet they don't even know how to properly mitigate these threats, and they definitely don't possess the widespread technology across the U.S. to stop it.
Yeah, a lot of people say 9/11 happened because government agencies didn't talk to each other. Let's pray that's not the problem here. But you're an expert, and you're getting in on this. You're part of a Fox Nation special, Close Encounters of the Drone Kind. It's streaming now. Let's listen.
One theory that got some traction was that the U.S. government had dispatched the drones, or perhaps a Pentagon training exercise for the U.S. military.
I find it hard to believe that there's some super secret project in the works, especially because I used to work on a lot of these projects. I used to test our own military's defenses with drone technology.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. You can watch Close Encounters of the Drone Kind now on Fox Nation. I'm going to watch it today. Brett, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your expertise.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.